In 1989, an awful incident occurred in New York City which took the country by storm. A lady was subjected to a violent attack while she was jogging in Central Park. Blamed for this horrific act were 5 young boys who were either black or Latino. Amidst the city's reaction, a wealthy real estate tycoon named Donald Trump took center stage. He advocated passionately for the return of capital punishment through full-page advertisements all over newspapers. This daring and disputed step pushed him into the middle of one of the most intense public disagreements of that period. Years afterwards, the charged boys were proven innocent via DNA tests. Yet, Trump's refusal to express regret ensured he remained in the limelight. This wasn't merely an episode in Trump's handling of public scandals. It was a sign of the polarizing, unapologetic figure he would soon transform into. Donald Trump's narrative is marked with instances of striking decisions, strong criticism, and a remarkable knack to hold the limelight. In today's story, we'll trace his path from a bold property dealer to a reality TV star, and finally, to one of the most provocative yet influential political figures in American history. Let's get going. Donald Trump. He's been called a visionary, a disruptor, a genius, and a villain. His name alone is enough to spark a heated argument at any dinner table. But how did he go from a flashy real estate mogul and reality TV star to one of the most powerful and polarizing figures in modern history? And how, after losing the presidency in 2020, did he manage to stage one of the most dramatic political comebacks ever to reclaim the White House in 2024? Love him or hate him, you cannot ignore him. Trump's tale is a true example of the American dream. It's a blend of an underdog story, reality television, and political suspense. Despite his family's advantageous start, he succeeded in turning their real estate business into a worldwide name. He repeatedly evolved his personality, from businessman to TV star and ultimately to a politician. Though Trump's path was not without its share of debate. His audaciousness as much attracted critiques as praise. In this piece, we're going to learn how Trump built his empire, seized the attention of America, and overcame the odds not once, but on 2 occasions to claim the presidency. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York. His father, Fred Trump, was a successful real estate developer who built housing for working and middle-class families. Donald grew up in a wealthy, disciplined household, but even as a child, he stood out for his confidence, or what some might call arrogance. By his teens, Trump's rebellious streak led his parents to send him to the New York Military Academy. It was there that he began to hone his competitive edge, excelling in sports and developing a knack for leadership. After high school, he attended the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, where he studied business. But Donald wasn't interested in blending in. While his peers pursued traditional careers, he joined his father's real estate business and quickly set his eyes on a higher stake. Fred Trump had built his fortune in Brooklyn and Queens, but Donald wanted the city of Manhattan, the heart of power, luxury, and influence. Donald started creating properties in Manhattan in the 1970s, and by 1983 he revealed his masterpiece, the Trump Tower, a magnificent structure stretching 58 stories high on Fifth Avenue. But this wasn't your ordinary building. It represented luxury. The mirrored exterior with gold highlights showcased Donald's persona, confident, showy, and relentlessly driven. Through the 1980s, Trump became a fixture in New York society, rubbing shoulders with celebrities and politicians. He expanded into casinos, hotels, and golf courses, plastering his name on everything he touched. To Trump, his name was more than a brand. It was an empire. At least all until the 1990s. The 90s proved tough for him. Bad bets in Atlantic City placed him in a precarious financial situation. He juggled a staggering debt of $900 million. But Donald Trump won't be so easily defeated. He displayed an uncanny ability for recovery. he renegotiated with banks, leaned into media appearances, and found ways to keep his name in the spotlight. In the beginning of the 2000s, Trump was a recognized figure, yet he was searching for a new beginning. This led to The Apprentice, a reality show introduced in 2004. The idea was straightforward. Participants competed for an opportunity to be employed by Trump. Every week, one person would hear the iconic phrase, "You're fired." The show rocketed to fame. Trump's massive personality made him a crowd pleaser, and millions were hooked instantly. The Apprentice did more than just renew his reputation. You see, it projected Trump's determined, straightforward leadership style to a fresh audience of Americans. However, Trump didn't limit himself to television. He had courted the political scene for some time, hinting at presidential candidacies in 1988, 2000, and in 2012. He even registered as a member of different political parties, including Republican, Reform, and Democrat, before deciding on GOP. In 2011, Trump made headlines by questioning President Barack Obama's citizenship, a move that many saw as controversial but undeniably effective at keeping him in the news. By the time 2015 rolled around, Trump was ready to take the leap into politics for real. In June 2015, Trump made public his intention to run for presidency. This news was considered a joke by many political experts. His promise to build a Great Wall along the southern edge was regarded as mere showmanship. Nonetheless, he had unearthed a genuine sentiment. These were the feelings of discontent among numerous Americans who believed that they were overlooked by the wave of globalization and the policymakers. Trump's campaign was anything but conventional. He relied on massive rallies, dominated social media, and broke every rule of political decorum. His blunt, unfiltered style resonated with voters who wanted a president who did not sound like a politician. The battle for presidency in 2016 was notably intense. Donald Trump, a newcomer to politics, shook the establishment of the Republican Party by outdoing experienced candidates such as Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio to capture the nomination. His unique campaign approach sparked a dedicated supporter following. During the big election, Trump stood against Hillary Clinton. She was a refined, practiced candidate who embodied the political regime. Their clash was marked by heated discussions and a media scene that couldn't shift focus from Trump's every action. On the night of the election, November 8, 2016, the world watched in disbelief. Against all odds and despite losing the popular vote by nearly 3 million, Trump clinched victory through the Electoral College, flipping key battleground states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. His victory was a surprise to many. It altered the US political scene and confirmed his unique status as a game changer. Now, Trump's presidency was a whirlwind. On one hand, he delivered on key promises like cutting taxes, appointing 3 conservative Supreme Court justices, and renegotiating trade deals like NAFTA. On the other hand, his administration was plagued by controversy, from the Russia investigation to his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. One of Trump's defining traits as president was his use of Twitter. He went past conventional news outlets and communicated with his followers mostly in quick 280-character messages. Though his tweets revved up his followers, they also ignited criticism and debate. But it wasn't just about policy. It was about reshaping how Americans viewed leadership. For his supporters, Trump was a fighter who took on the establishment. For his critics, he was a divisive figure whose rhetoric fueled polarization. In 2020, Trump sought another term. The world was watching, holding its breath. Everywhere there was uncertainty. A pandemic was sweeping across the globe, and the economy was very unstable. People took to the street in protest. Despite these odds, Trump's campaign marched on. Eventually, it was Biden who emerged victorious. Yet, Trump was unwilling to accept defeat. He voiced out elections were rigged. Those claims enticed the January 6th events. A riot broke out at the Capitol. It was the closing act of Trump's presidency. For most politicians, losing re-election would be the end of their story. Not for Donald Trump. After leaving office, he remained a dominant force in American politics, holding rallies, endorsing candidates, and continuing to claim the 2020 election had been rigged. By 2024, Trump was back in the spotlight, announcing his bid for the presidency with a promise to finish what he has started. Despite legal challenges and fierce opposition, Trump rallied his base and secured the Republican nomination. The general election was one of the most contentious in U.S. history. Trump's message centered on economic revival, border security, and restoring American greatness. The message resonated with millions, and once again, against all odds, he won, becoming the first president since Grover Cleveland to serve non-consecutive terms. Trump's return to the White House in 2024 cemented his place in history as a leader who refused to fade away. For some, he's a symbol of resilience and a champion of the forgotten. For others, his presidency is a warning about the dangers of populism and personality-driven politics. Whichever side you are on, one thing is clear. Donald Trump changed the game. His influence reshaped the Republican Party, transformed the media landscape, and forced the United States to confront deep divides. From real estate to reality TV, and now a two-time president, Donald Trump's career has been a series of bold leaps and relentless controversy. As he serves his second term, one question remains. What's next for the man who thrives on defying expectations? One thing for sure, it won't be boring. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. See you in the next one.